Yay. People here I know and people here I don't know, which I'm thrilled. And it's so nice to have you. Thanks so much for coming to the Writer's Voice Cafe for September. And we have a wonderful feature writer, singer-songwriter, Anne Stott. Yeah. Woo! I'm your host for tonight, and it feels like a homecoming here with all of us. Anyhow, thanks so much for coming. Come on in.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. We have Matt Clark on camera. Thank you, Matt. And PTV, the women at PTV, Amy, Heather, and Melissa. So they're all. So tonight will be videotaped, just up to the Q&A, and we'll put it on PTV, the library website, and it sort of automatically goes to YouTube and then comes back to the library. So if you have a .com, you could put it on your .com. Cell phones off or on library. Okay, let's get to it. Anne Stott. CD. Oh. Yay! That's because Anne Stott brought this and her Pennsylvania, which is my home state, and she's going to sell them too. So you can buy her other one if you don't have it, and you can buy this one if you don't. This is the one I know. And were you born? No, you were born in Pennsylvania. But you lived here a long, long time, right? No? You're young!
I'm so glad you think that. I've lived here, Dale's going to laugh. I've lived here on October 2nd, and I've lived here 8 years. Oh, and I thought I was coming for 4 months. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot longer than I planned. But I know to the diehard old school peeps, I'm still a little baby.
Oh, wow. Well, we're glad you're still here after 8 years. That's wonderful. So she's going to play songs from her Love Never Dies CD. I was going to say album.
Say album. Say album. I want to release it on vinyl, so let's like manifest that energy as much as possible.
For those of you who are new to Anne Stott's music, her singer-songwriting, she's an indie rock singer and songwriter. And it says, a world whose music is a world unto itself. Trust me on this, that is totally correct. A very talented woman. She has poetry. Oh, her songs are so fascinating, interesting. And I said, that song's, I'm listening to it, that song's still going, oh my God! And one song goes into another, and even though they're two songs, it feels like one, and it's just so interesting what Anne does. So she's a place where the 70s rock and the 80s alternative pop and classical piano of her childhood. They have lively conversations with Indian chanting and righteous poet rockers of her adult influences. Sometimes I think she's definitely a poet. So over more than 10 years of gigs, albums, poetry, and acting, Anne Stott has developed a deeply personal voice that travels from introspection to exaltation. Give it up for Anne Stott.
just when it seemed there was no more. I've known your name before I've known your name before. I've known your name before I've known your name before. Your eyes show me all my lives with a blue that's bluer than the skies, shining light on my deepest sides. And that shimmer of delight. Your eyes show me all my lies. 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 You walk with me in my dreams across moons and oceans, and time you reach to whisper some things and nothing sweet. Sunrise light through window streams. You about love? I don't know a thing. Rebecca and Jody and everyone who makes these nights possible for having me here. I love playing guests. I love playing in the library. Woo! This makes me so happy. No one's shushing me. I didn't ever try to play music in the library as a kid, but you can tell I don't have a quiet voice. So, and I wasn't very good at concentrating, so I don't know. When I was in the library, I got shushed a lot. So I'm having some kind of like healing moment here from my childhood. But I wanted to do a song, since this is the Writer's Voice Cafe and we have writers in the audience, I believe, I thought I would do this song that I actually co-wrote with someone I don't know even, which makes it more interesting. I don't co-write almost at all. But this summer after the Charleston shooting, this folk artist named Peter Mulvey wrote a beautiful song called Take Down Your Flag, which sort of became an internet song movement because he wrote the song and he was opening for Ani DeFranco at the time. And he wrote the second verse about one of the 9 people who was killed in the church. And someone said, well, you should write 8 more verses for the other 8 people. And instead of doing that, he sort of threw it out to his songwriter friends, like, oh, you write your own second verse, you know, about somebody else. And it took off. It's his most famous song now. Like within a month, it became his most famous song. Over 200 songwriters have written their own second verse and recorded it and thrown it up on YouTube. It's all on YouTube. And there's a Take Down Your Flag page where all these versions of the song are, including, you know, like I said, Ani DeFranco did a version, Jeff Daniels did a version, Vance Gill did a version, like a lot of great musicians have done a version. And I was so moved by the song. You'll see, it's a beautiful song. And when I first heard it, I just couldn't get it out of my head. And so then I decided to write a second verse. And it was especially, I mean, I was so grateful to be a part of this little moment. And it was also interesting for me because I'm not a good political songwriter, which is frustrating to me because I'm very passionate about justice and inequality and all of those things. But when I try to write about them, it's all like bad. It's a lot of things, but the bottom line is bad. So it was really cool to have this moment where someone else had kind of set up the context and I could come in, you know, and really I wrote one line, actually, but you'd be shocked how long it takes to write one line that you like sometimes. And I wrote my verse on July 4th weekend, and which was also the weekend before the South Carolina legislature was debating whether or not to take down the Confederate flag in Charleston. So you'll see my verse references all of that. And they did take down that flag, which is a very good thing, but I think we can all agree that's just one step in a process that still needs a lot more attention and work. So this is Take Down Your Flag.
Every flag over Charleston is
take something more. It's gonna take all of the love in all of our hearts, and then it's gonna take something, take something, take something. Take down your flag to Hasta. Take down your flag to Hasta. Take down your flag to Hasta, and then take it down for good. Again, that was mostly written by Peter Mulvey, who's a beautiful folk artist. He has lots of songs that are that beautiful, and he's doing, I just saw this on Facebook today, on September 27th in Harvard Square, he's doing a 12-hour concert in front of Club Passim, and he says he's not going to repeat a single song.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Right? That's what I say. Apparently he's done it before, and it's a fundraiser for something I can't remember, but anyway, if you're in Cambridge that weekend, I would check that out. And Passim is in an alley now, and so it's like only foot traffic. You can bring chairs and hang out, the whole thing. So yeah, check him out.
Which one was your line?
It's been too long waiting, no more debating. We are already 9 lives too late.
Oh,
It's been too long waiting, no more debating. We are already 9 lives and 239 years too late.
Oh, great line.
Yeah, it just makes me so crazy. Like, debate? We're really debating? Like, we have to debate this? Like, somebody has to it just makes me crazy. I just want to mention Ray Nolan, right? Ray Nolan. I've been really, really sad about Ray Nolan's passing, and as I said before, I moved here in October, which is probably the unusual part of my story, right? Like most people come in the summer and then they're like, oh, I gotta stay. And I thought I was coming for winter to write, actually, and I went to the Muse Coffee House every single night I was in town on a Monday night that had happened from November to May. I think I missed 2 the whole season. And Ray was a fixture at the coffee house, and he went first every week, and sang a lot of Cat Stevens, Melanie, and he was so sweet to me. He was so kind to me, and just, I know he had a lot of troubles, but he also had a real purity and sweetness to him that is the side I saw most of the time. And my first couple of summers, well, even my last few summers playing the street, he would ride by on his bike, and he had my album. He got my album, and he would tell me which songs he'd listen to, and then he would like empty all the money in his pocket into my bucket, and I would say, Ray, don't give me all your money. Like, it's okay, thank you. And he would say, no, no. And I just read Julie Heller said he was a, he was a true innocent, and he didn't care about money, and it was totally true, And we had this funny moment when I had heard this established artist say, Ray Nolan's one of the best painters in town. So the next time I saw Ray, I thought, well, I'm gonna tell him, this is so nice. I said, oh, this established person said, Ray Nolan's one of the best painters in town. And he said, oh no, I'm the best painter in town. And it was so great because, almost anybody else saying that, it would have been gross, and I would have been so turned off and never wanted to talk to him again. But there was this, it was so innocent and true that it wasn't egotistical or arrogant, or if it was egotistical and arrogant, it was okay somehow. And yeah, I've been thinking about him a lot, and I don't know what we can learn from people who maybe need to have us take care of them a little more than some other people. Somebody's gotta play Jesus. Our hands are bound. Who wear that crown of thorns? Who bear the sins of your town, your town, your town? Daughter's slipping out the back door. Mom's just trying to hold herself together. Martyred to each other, clutching crosses of fear. Their lives yet to be mourned. Somebody's gotta play Jesus. Our hands are bound. I've yet to meet one Judas who's not in pain. Can you find me one love that's not in vain? With our roles to play, the seal on our fate, why is everyone still praying to be saved? Somebody's gotta play Jesus. Our hands are bound. very much.
Thank you.
So, everybody can hear that, right? Okay.
Turn it up.
Turn it up. I know that was Patty DeLuca. That's who that was. I'm in this sort of ongoing process because, as Diane was saying, the album I just recorded, Love Never Dies, is, well, my producer John Evans, who's in Orleans, and I would joke every day, we'd be like, let's make some 70s album magic. And it's got a lot of twists and turns and ups and downs and highs and lows, which I love about it, but then how to perform that solo, right, is an interesting challenge. So, like, I have songs that I wrote and played on the piano on the album that I play on guitar now. I have stuff I wrote on guitar that I'm playing on the piano. It's sort of like a free-for-all. So, but first I thought, since this is the Writer's Voice Cafe, I mainly write songs, but, you know, when one is writing, lots of other things can happen along the way. And a few years ago, I made a little chapbook, I guess, called Everything is Different All Over Again, with some writings and a few poems and some sketches and things that I had made. I have some here for sale. And the book party for this was at the Patty DeLuca Gallery. Patty's in the house, so go support the Patty DeLuca Gallery. And I believe cupcakes were supplied by Scott Cakes as well. So this was a poem that I wrote. It's funny because I had these notebooks. I had like 4 years worth of notebooks, and I started going back through them, and I realized there was all this stuff that I had discarded because I knew it wouldn't be a song. But then when I went back, I was like, oh, I kind of like that, but it's not a song. Like, it's just clear it's not a song. I don't know why, but it is clear. So that's when I started working on this. The pear tree sighs as the night falls low, a complete being right now. It breathes us in as we wander by. The fruit has pulled the branches to the ground. Does the tree mind? Does the trunk say, damn you, fruit, for being so heavy? My landlord has put up supports to keep the branches from breaking. Is this nature's reach exceeding its grasp? Or is it our fault? If the animals were roaming free, would they have plucked all the pears before the tree was strained to the breaking point? Are pears even indigenous to the Cape? I don't think I ate a pear from the tree that fall. I know I picked some. Adam, my landlord, was practically handing them out on the street. I must have given mine to friends, or maybe they never hit that perfect, right moment. It's a short window with pears. But still, I'm a little ashamed. I watched the tree all the time. I felt us breathing together. I wrote about the pear tree every day for weeks. It was full and beautiful and on the very edge of what it could bear.
President rode down off his mountain to the west, and he gathered all the farmers, all the bankers, all the vets, and he turned back to show them whence he'd come, what he'd done, what he'd done, what he'd done, what he'd done. But that big old mountain had vanished in the sun. The sun was cold that other day, not so long ago, when you shouted through the snowflakes it was time to go. You didn't wait for an answer, you had a train to catch, train to catch, train to catch, train to catch. You disappeared into a storm, and I couldn't call you back. sort of question. He couldn't decide whether to abandon all those secrets he did hide. So he set to count them out, one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. But that sun was burning hot, so he chose to run. The willow sways one way as the birds fly overhead. The lawnmower tries to stop the grass before it's dead. That hot sun, fresh cut smell, it fills the air, fills the air, fills the air, fills the air. And you're looking for some distance into which we can stare.
One more and then we'll do the Q&A. That's about right. What do you,
Go on and on.
On and on. I want to go on and on. I think there are people here who want to read and we'll do the Q&A. But this is one of these experiments I was talking about of arrangements. I wrote this on the piano and recorded it playing the piano. There's a lot of guitar in it, but I didn't play the guitar. But now, by myself, I like it better on the guitar. If I'd known we were videotaping, I might not have done it, but that's live music, right? If it's a train wreck on PTV, I'll just have to live with it for the rest of my life. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. I appreciate that. So... at the very least, we can make sure I'm in tune, right? If nothing else. And I realized halfway through the last song that I left my glasses on. Which happens a lot now. I just put them on and then they just stay on. Don't chuckle at me, Dale. I heard that. I finally do put them in my bag and take them pretty much everywhere I go. There are people here who know that for about a year it just wasn't a habit, right? It wasn't a habit yet. So I think I didn't want it to be a habit, you know. So there are many situations in which I needed glasses and didn't have them.
They look good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're fun.
Thank you. Oh yeah, and I don't have any like, it's what it all symbolizes that I struggle with more than anything. All right.
That's another song title for you.
What it all symbolizes?
What I struggle with.
What I struggle with? Isn't that what all my songs are about? I've done that already. So I played, I did a bunch of shows in Colorado. And I played, thank you. I played Grand Junction, Colorado, which is on the other side of the range, high desert, and it was 100 degrees. And this is like the opposite of today. It was 7% humidity, which I know I didn't know could exist. Like I thought that was Mars or something, right? And I did a radio thing, and then I did the show, and the guy at the radio station was like, "Well, be careful because strings break when it's this dry." I was like, "Well, thanks. I'll be worried about that my whole show." And then I played this bar, me by myself. I play a lot of bars, but this was like a bar with like cute girls in tight t-shirts tending bar and stuff, and they had advertised me, which was great, but they had advertised me as a date night. You know, because, like solo singer, songwriter, or whatever. you know, which was great, except all of my songs are either mostly, you know, existential angst or breakup songs. So it's like, hey, couples. And a few couples did come sort of looking date night-ish. Wasn't my idea. I didn't send the marketing plan.
I burn forward till there's nowhere left to hide. I burn forward so bright I can see. I burn forward past yesterday's dreams. I come for tomorrow with a vengeance. When I take it by the throat, I might do some damage, but I broke the thread for all to see that the fight within can be redeemed. We are here right now, free. We are peace. We are dreams. We are tomorrow. We must believe. We are free. We are free. Way down deep beyond where I've ever gone, under the first rock and before the first song. Way down deep before we were here. Way down deep there is no fear. We are here right now, free. We are peace. We are dreams. We are tomorrow. We must believe. We are free. We are free. We get lost sometimes alone in the dark. Where's the way out? A new place to start. Here's the secret as old as time. There's no loss, just new roads to find. When we arrive at the place we are in, know our own hearts from the end to the start. Then we'll know the one thing matters, to love and love again and love ever after. We are here right now, free. We are peace. We are dreams. We are tomorrow. We must believe. We are free. We are free. We are free. Love never dies. Love never dies. We are here. We are free. We are here. We are peace. We are here. We are dreams. We are here. We are here. Woo!
Anyhow, do you want to do a Q&A?
Sure, if we have time.
We
That was the
do.
plan, right?
We do.
Let's go with it.
And there is
To me.
there is something called encore.
Oh.
Well, that's up to you entirely. So what about, you know, this last one I've been thinking of the Indian chanting. And I happen to be, I was a yoga teacher, and I happen to teach laughter yoga, and I love Indian chanting. So how does that, I mean, I hear it, I see it. It's repeating what you love, love what you repeat, repeating what you love, love what you, so would you talk about that a little bit, or?
So when I lived in New York, I lived in New York for a long time. I still do yoga, but I got really into Indian chanting as it was sort of becoming the thing it has become, which is a big thing in some circles. And so Indian chanting is called kirtan, or it's also called bhakti yoga, which means devotional yoga. And in India, they believe if you repeat the names of the divine, you bring the divine into you. And so you repeat, either you just take these Sanskrit phrases and you chant them to music over and over again in the same pattern. And I find that there can be something very hypnotic and powerful about taking a pattern and just working it over and over again. And a lot of African music does that too. And my guitar teacher in New York, she is in a group with an African drummer, and they would be writing, and she'd say, okay, well now we need to do a bridge, and he would say, why do you want to stop the music? Like, why do you want to go, so, like, we're in this thing, let's just go with this thing, like, let's keep going. And I think especially, you know, our ear is so trained to a certain kind of like pop song formula, which I certainly use sometimes, I'm not opposed to it, but when you repeat something beyond that formula, that's as surprising as, you know, that's surprising even though it's the same thing, right? None of this is conscious. Like, I didn't say, oh, I'm Indian chanting, now I'm going to try to, you know, it was like I find that, and the truth is some of the rockers I love, it's the same kind of idea. It's the same, you know, there's a drone that happens, and there's a repetitive pattern that can kind of loop itself that I find very powerful. Yeah.
Nice.
It's vibrational.
It's vibrational, exactly, which is what all sound and music is. So, yeah.
Anyone?
Something else? Anything else? Or should we let other people?
Come on, everyone.
Oh,
do you want?
Do people have questions?
Well, in this CD, Love Never Dies. Woo! Yeah, no, it's
Thanks,
fantastic. The number one is a very short piece. I think it's a minute something.
Right.
And it's bells, and it's thunder.
Provincetown Town Hall clock.
Yeah, I knew it.
Striking 12.
Is it foretelling a storm coming on, or get ready, everyone? I don't know. That's what I felt like. Whoa, get ready, everyone.
That's exactly what it's saying. It's saying, get ready for the album. That's what it's doing. And for a long time, the first track and the last track were just called intro and outro. And right at the end, right before we solidified everything, you know, in all the order, I gave them names. But really, it was an intro. I thought of it. I wanted a sonic introduction that signaled that we were going somewhere. It wasn't just, you know, here are some songs. And that town hall clock, I recorded it noon and midnight on Valentine's Day. So this is a year and a half ago now, but neither of those recordings were good. I had to keep going different places to sort of figure out where the best spot was. Like, I did it from the high school lot because I thought that would be good, but the sound didn't really come up. I was just doing it on my phone, you know, because it's the 21st century and I don't know what we do now. And ultimately, I believe it was a new moon, so it wasn't a special day, but it was a new moon at midnight, and you can't hear it with the music mixed in, but the foghorn's in there too. Like, it was a stormy night, and I went up, it was February, so it was closed, but I went up the stairs of, is it John Doe's? Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. I climbed over the gate and went up the stairs, and from there recorded the town hall clock. And so, and I knew that. I was like, I wanted to start with the Provincetown Town Hall clock, and with sort of a sonic landscape around it. So yeah, it's an introduction to the album.
Would you consider your works, to me it has a spiritual quality grounded in real life? I mean,
sure.
I mean, really, there is especially some of the music is very spiritual, very ethereal. And also I wanted to mention, you really play with dissonance, which I really
Yes,
love.
I do. I do play.
Well, tell us about that. I mean, how did that come about? Why
I don't
does
know.
it work so well, the dissonance?
I don't know. I have no idea. And by the way, sometimes it doesn't work. Like we played with dissonance that did not work, that is not on the album. You know what I mean? Like you have to be very careful with it. In terms of, well, especially, I mean, I wouldn't say spiritual, that's not what I would say. I would say that I struggle with light and dark, which is maybe inherently spiritual. And that this album is really like the light and the dark, whereas Pennsylvania is sort of like the lightness comes through exploring the dark, maybe. I don't know. There are people here who know that album. They can tell me yes or no. But anyway, so I would like there's great joy and there's great pain. And I don't really trust art or teachers or books or anything that doesn't sort of acknowledge that full spectrum. And I'm interested in acknowledging that full spectrum. Is how I guess how I would put it.
So Anne, how old were you when you first knew you wanted to songwrite and start playing that?
29, 30.
Whoa.
Yeah, I loved music as a kid, and I listened to music all the time. My first memories were music, and I played the piano and I sang in the choir. But I couldn't have owned that I wanted to write songs. I didn't have access to that desire. And then I wanted to be an actress. That was my first. I wanted to be an actress. And then I let all of it go for most of my 20s. And when I started singing again, the second I started singing again, I knew there would be writing in it too. Like it was just no question. It was like, oh, now I need to be writing. I was going to do a show, and oh, now I'm going to tell that story, and it's on camera. She'll never watch it. I was going to do a show. It was one of my first shows, and I was really trying to finish a song of my own before I did the show, and I was on the phone with my mom. And I was like, I really want to finish a song of my own. She was like, well, is anyone expecting that of you? And I was like, that's not really the point. Like, what is I want to? I just knew when I started singing again, when I started making music again, yeah, that would be part of it. It was just obvious. So, did you have a question, Barbara?
It was pretty similar. I was going to ask you what the first song was that you wrote.
The first song I wrote, I don't sing that much anymore. It is online. You can buy it online. I don't have the EP here. It's called Rest Stop. The first song I wrote that anybody could hear. There were only a couple of others that are lost, and that's a good thing. I wrote a song called Rest Stop, and about existential angst at a service plaza. That's a sort of folky blues, and
A feel-good song.
yeah, yes, exactly, a feel-good song. So that was the first song I wrote that people have heard, and it is on iTunes and CD Baby and all those places, but I don't have the album here with me. Yeah. Yeah.
But do you consider other artists to have influenced you, and who would they be?
Influence is a really tricky word, I think. I like to talk more about inspired than influence, because I think then it's, I don't know, it's easy, yeah. Sure, definitely. And it shifts over time. But I love Patti Smith. I think Patti Smith is just like, you know, the righteous poet rocker of righteous poet rockers. And I think Ain't It Strange by Patti Smith is the perfect rock song. Like, if I could only listen to one rock song for the rest of my life, it would be Ain't It Strange off Radio Ethiopia. And I go back, it's interesting, this album, that this stuff really shifted. I mean, I've spent a long time listening to Dylan, and that well never runs dry, and it's not cliche, and it's not, I mean, he changed popular music forever, and was such a prolific writer, and is such a great, I mean, I believe he's the Shakespeare of the late 20th century. And there are actually a lot of parallels between Shakespeare's life and Dylan's life, but that's for another time. I'm a huge Nina Simone fan. She's a big inspiration, right? Right?
All right.
And she taught me the power of an arrangement. You know, I was sort of a late 20th century like singer-songwriter snob. Like if you didn't write it, you weren't, like you didn't get full credit. But she just took songs and just like wrestled them to the ground and built them up as something completely different, and had such a powerful voice. And I think where I am influenced by them, it's interesting, my producer and I were talking about it. Like there's a lot of sound on my new album, but there's not a lot of harmonizing. And he was saying that, you know, these people that influence me, they are really singular voices, you know, they're very powerful, singular experiences. And maybe that's where there's a direct influence, and that I think I might be a pretty singular voice. I mean, I love harmonizing, I don't have anything against it, but there weren't a lot of places on the album where it was correct to do it. Like we would try it and then be like, no, it's not really helping, like, it doesn't really need it. And so I think in that sense, there's a line, you know. So those, but really it's like, I will say on the latest album, like Diane said at the beginning, I listened to a lot of 80s music before recording this album, which I don't think you would necessarily, you know what I mean? That's where inspiration and influence are so tricky, because I listened to a lot of 80s music, and I don't think you would take that away from my album at all. I listened to the Talking Heads incessantly for months, and David Byrne is such an incredible artist. And again, a kind of singular voice, and did something with music that hadn't been done before. Pieces of it had been done, but he brought it together in a way, those pieces together in a way that hadn't been brought together. So, like, you know, those like Nina Simone recorded several versions of Love Me or Leave Me, but the version that she recorded on the, it's now a double album on a CD, Pastel Blue and Let It All Out, like I put that on and I listen to it and I feel more alive. And then I go write, and I don't write anything like Love Me or Leave Me or like what Nina Simone wrote, but the fact that I feel more alive having listened to her song gives me fuel to go do what I do. So I think that's more how influence and inspiration work than like, I want to be like them, or, hey Bridget.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to know about I came to Provincetown, I expected to stay for 4 months, and I stayed 10 years, and what I want to know about that is how does Provincetown, I'm assuming that you found this a place to write in, and what is it about Provincetown that opened that up for you, if so?
Well, I will tell you that the first 2.5 years here, believe it or not, because everyone's like, oh, it's a paradise, it's amazing. I was kicking and screaming, and I should give like Dale and Patty and Scott some airtime here. Like, I'm a New Yorker. Why aren't I in New York? I don't understand. You know, like and I just talked to a New Yorker. Yeah, they were so bored with me. And I just did a show in Western Mass, and a friend of mine from New York who's just moved to Western Mass and I were talking about this. Like, if you asked me where I was from, it was a story. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, I live in Provincetown. It was like, well, I live here now, but I lived in New York for 20 years, and I still think I'm going to go back there. And, like, it was ridiculous, right? And I was already writing before I came here. So I'd made an EP, and I'd written a lot of the songs that are on Pennsylvania, but not all of them. The thing about Provincetown, like the word that keeps coming back to me is expansive. Like there's, you know, in New York it's like, I love New York, I'm not saying anything bad about New York. There is this like, how are you going to succeed? Like that's the push, right? Like that's the push, like what's the net, where are you going to,
Comparisons.
And there's that here too, and there's how to survive, but there's a lot of space to just explore, and there are a lot of people, you know, something like, say, Zoe Lewis's Bootleggers, where like all these people who aren't even singers get up and sing songs from the 30s, and like all this kind of, let's just do something, let's just try something, let's just go to the ocean, let's just, you know, that energy I think has been a huge gift for me, a huge, huge gift for me, and helped me kind of, you know, find new synapse patterns and find new ways to do what I want to do. So that is I think the big thing, this sort of, you know, sense of expansion that comes from the landscape, but also the people, the premium on creativity that I believe is still here. Yeah, and I think, you know, it would be different and it would be the same, but it would be different if I'd written like this last album somewhere else. It would be different. There's no question about that. Yeah. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Your song structure.
Yes.
It's all over the wonderful place.
Yes. On this album in particular, yes.
How, I mean, you have a lot of guts.
Thank you.
And a lot of courage. And
Thank you.
I just never know where when I first heard it, this album, I didn't know what was happening. It would surprise me and delight me. How do you, I mean, it's just that you've thrown things out, or you just follow your heart or your intuition, or?
I don't know exactly. I mean, nobody knows, right? Like, we don't know. But so the songs on Pennsylvania are much more structured. Like, that's a much more sort of straight up indie folk rock album with songs with verses and choruses, and there's some straying from the status quo, but it's a much more structured album. And with those songs, I was thinking about, no, that's not true. What I'll say is, some of the songs on this album, I'm gonna rewind and start again. I didn't finish anything for 1.5 years. So I wrote words and didn't look back at them, and I made sounds and recorded them into my phone, and I did not try to make a song or finish a song for 1.5 years, which was really, really hard. But I knew that's what I was supposed to do. And so I had like 3 notebooks of words that I had not looked at in over 1 year. Like, I just kept writing and writing and writing and putting it away and putting it away, and I kept making little sounds and little chords and little, and recording them and not listening back to them. So when I finally did start taking all this material, I was coming from such a bigger place than I'd ever come from before, when I was thinking, oh, I'm writing a song, here's a song idea, what's the verse gonna be, what's the chorus gonna be? It was like, oh, there's that sound, and here's that word, and maybe they go together, and okay, if they go together, then, you know, and I mean, you know, 90% of what I wrote in those notebooks is crap, you know, will never be seen anywhere. That's, you know, there's no question about that. But so I changed the questions I was asking myself, and I changed the process. And then that process gave me more space to say, I want a sonic 1-minute introduction apropos of almost nothing, you know, and I want to do an 8-minute, 45-second chant-inspired 3-act dreamscape. You know what I mean? And that's what that is. Well, I thought it was 2 acts at first, and then we got in the studio, and I was like, no, I think it needs a 3rd act. So that, I think that not finishing, again, created new space and new pathways and new, which, and that's a luxury maybe of a songwriter or a poet that wouldn't necessarily be true of a novelist or a short story writer, right? I mean, I don't know, because I haven't done that. So that's, yeah. Yeah, but I feel, you know, and I know a lot of those songs, you know, are never, well, that's not true. They're getting played on, you know, they're getting played on AAA radio and college radio, some of them, but most of them would never get played on sort of straight up radio, but I don't care. I mean, I don't really understand the idea of like, now I have to find a way to write 10 songs that are all of the same format, and I don't understand that, where motivation comes from or why someone would do that. Like, why not explore? Why not have fun? Why not try something different? Right? Right?
Right.
Why not explore? Maybe that means why not listen to some other people? Yeah, are there people here who want to read? How does this work?
Yeah, well, we will.
Let's give it up for Anne Stott. In this crowd, or the only groupie. I've never been a groupie in my life, but Anne really deserves it. Well, I don't know what a groupie means. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Oh God!
And I do have albums here for sale if people are interested, and also the book of poems and writings. So when everyone's done, I can talk to me if you're interested.
Yeah. Well, you know what we'll do? We're gonna first of all, before we cut off the video, I'm going to talk to you about Women's Week. We're going to have a filmmaker here, Catherine Russo. She's going to do her documentary. She's going to show her documentary, the whole thing, A Moment in Her Story, Stories from the Boston Women's Movement.
Great.
And that's Wednesday, October 14th. So the Writers' Voice Cafe is on Facebook, so you can like us and get the information. And wow, really great. So what we're gonna do, I mean, really. Okay. I did not go to concerts when I was young.
Really?
No.
Really?
Oh my God.
I was like in my 40s when I first went to Joan Armatrading once.
Wow.
At the Palladium in New York.
What was everyone's first concert?
The Animals.
The Animals, where?
Syracuse, New York.
Oh, nice.
Who else went to concerts?
The Ramones.
The Ramones.
My brother used to take me to the Greatest Show of Stars in Worcester, and I saw Sonny and Cher and Buddy Holly and when I was about 9.
Oh my God.
Buddy Holly.
I mean, they were just, and Sonny and Cher were just coming out. They weren't famous yet. It was one of their first concerts probably. So.
Wow.
And they'd have 10 acts or something once a year. It was really fun.
Ooh, Gina.
Well, we're glad you got away.
Leah Simone at the Village.
Really?
High school.
Was it at the Village Gate or where?
Yes, at the Village Gate.
Fantastic. Yes.
Elton John, when he was just opening for somebody else, the guy with Leon Russell.
Oh my God.
Leon Russell was the big star, and Elton John was there in his yellow jumpsuit, jumping all over the piano,
Fantastic.
just entering New York.
Wow.
Fantastic. At the Fillmore. I love it.
I was at that concert too.
You were? Oh my
I went to that
Reunion going on here.
It was amazing.
What was yours?
First Quaker City Rock Festival.
What?
All right.
Who?
The first Quaker City Rock Festival at the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
Woo.
Janis Joplin.
Oh, Janis Joplin! Wow.
Awesome.
The woman in the
Taj Mahal played in my backyard
What?
as a fundraiser for sending college kids down for working for civil rights.
Wow.
There's a story.
Well, in addition to, I can't believe I was there at that concert too, at Fillmore East. Prior to that, the Allman Brothers at the Fillmore East, the night they made their record.
Wow. The night they made what?
Their live.
Oh my gosh.
They weren't even the lead that night. It was Johnny Winter or Edgar Winter, I forget. And they just blew the roof off the entire.
Mine's Joan Armatrading there in my 40s, and behind the Palladium, there I was. She was up there, and we're saying, "We love you, Joan!" And that was my only thing. But yes.
A Moment of Glory in my undergraduate school in 1969. Tim Buckley played in my college in front of 5,000 people.
Wow.
I snuck backstage, convinced them to come to my apartment for a party, and was successful.
Wow.
My Moment of Glory.
Who was this?
Tim Buckley.
Tim Buckley, the late Tim Buckley.
He passed early. You sort of have to be into a certain used to know him.
I saw Janis Joplin in Detroit too in the 60s.
A
Nice.
second.
I think my first concert was also at Fillmore East. B.B. King opening up for the Who.
Wow.
Rest in peace, B.B.
It
King.
was an amazing concert.
Wow.
Opening up for the Who.
Nice.
Can I just ask, where are you from in Pennsylvania?
Wait, who's?
Oh, I'm sorry. Where are you from in Pennsylvania? Just
I
like-
was born outside of Philadelphia,
Oh, okay.
but we left when I was 18 months old. So I don't really feel like I'm from anywhere. Is the truth, because we moved around when I was little, and then I went to high school in Minnesota, but I don't have any family history there. My mother's the only one who still lives there, so it's kind of like I'm from a lot of places or no places, or I don't know.
New York.
But yeah, I was born in Bryn Mawr Hospital. So
Bryn Mawr,
yeah, so
We're Pennsylvania.
yeah.
All
right.
So, we're gonna do a couple things. Matt, are you here? You?
He disappeared?
We're gonna pass the hat around. Oh, Matt is here. Okay, we've got a special thing happening. Come on in, Matt. Okay. The woman in the back here, please stand up, Rebecca. Rebecca is a very dear. Woo! Rebecca Lemon, come up here. Come up here, Rebecca. Woo! I know we are. Rebecca is leaving for an adventure, a life adventure.
Yay!
And we are sad. And we are happy for her. We're both, so it's, that double-sided thing. And we just want you to know, Rebecca's been with the core group of the Writer's Voice Cafe for many years, but she was a featured writer the first summer of the Writer's Voice Cafe 8 years ago. She was in high school. Rebecca is a navigator. She helps us to navigate the internet. She does. She navigates for us, and she teaches us to be on the web. She's and what's more important, she's a friend. Okay, so Rebecca, this is for you. Best wishes, Rebecca, and we hope that your adventure to parts unknown. Where are you going?
To Madison, Wisconsin.
Woo! Oh, Rebecca, we love you. We love you, Rebecca. So have a wonderful, safe trip. We love you, Rebecca. Oh, yes, we do. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
Love you, Rebecca, and we'll be true when you're not with us.